welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be, as you saw by the title, my birthday book haul. And first of all, I wanted to say I'm sorry for missing last week's video. I am trying to be regular here and put out a new video every week, but let's just say that life has been living too much. And so I got COVID, I got better from COVID. It was my birthday and things are like work and everything, so I haven't really had that much time to film and edit especially. So here we are now. I hope you're doing good. And let's come back with a book haul. Like I said before, it was my birthday a couple weeks ago, and naturally one does acquire some books. And here I am showing you them. So let's start with the finale to a series that I have been reading since last year, almost done with Tower of Dawn, so naturally I needed to pick up the final one, and this is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. Tiny, as you can see. This is very tiny. I think it is 900, it's almost 1,000 pages, so yes, this will take me a little bit to read. I am so excited to see where this is going, how the series is going to wrap up. I know some people love this, some people hated it. I'm enjoying my time with the whole series. I really love these characters. Next up, I have one of the most popular books recently, and that is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. And I have seen this book everywhere. I've seen this book recommended everywhere as well, and I am so intrigued by this. Everybody says this is one of those really comforting reads. This is about a traveling coffee shop, like a time traveling coffee shop, so people get to go back and I think forward in time as well, so long as they are in the coffee shop. And the premise of this is that they have the time before their coffee gets cold to do all of this traveling. I'm really curious to see what this book explores because it's so short and people say it's such a comfort read that the whole premise of it is very intriguing. Then I have a nonfiction because I do love me some nonfiction, and this one is Why We Eat Too Much by Dr. Andrew Jenkinson. I got this recommendation once again from Lena Norms. Almost all of the nonfiction that I read is through her recommendations, and this felt so interesting because it explores the dieting world and how people come to have the eating habits that they have. Also the whole vocabulary around dieting culture. It says right here on the back, debunking myths about the body and systemically explaining why dieting is counterproductive. This unflinching book investigates every aspect of nutrition, from the weight set point that is unique to all of us, to good and bad fats, and from how genes affect our weight to how our hormones are affected after a diet ends. Really looking forward to reading this one and exploring that topic. Up next, we have this one. This cover is so cringy. It's hideous, but I heard so many great things about this author and about this series, so I wanted to give it a try. This is, I think, one of 2 series that she has, or one of her most popular series. This is Slave to Sensation. Even the title is cringy, by Nalini Singh. And if I'm not mistaken, this is romance fantasy, which is something that I'm very much in the mood for recently, and I've heard incredible things about it. I think we have, let me see, set in a world where emotion is forbidden and where men and women are united by the very sensations that condemn them. Naturally, a romance. But also, I'm curious to see, like, why are emotions forbidden? What is happening? I heard good things about this one, and if I do enjoy this author's writing style, I have like 20 books to get to, so I wanted new fantasy, and this one came highly recommended, so here we are. Then I have a graphic novel, which I always love, and this is The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag, and this is adorable. I've already read it and loved it. It was so much fun. So we have this teen, I think, and she is going through natural teen stuff, and one day she just falls into the ocean. There's like, it's raining and bad weather, and she falls into the ocean, and then this sea creature rescues her. It's kind of a mermaid type of story, but the girl that saves her is not a mermaid. It's their love story and them trying to save the ocean, and our main character, this girl right here, coming to terms with her sexuality as well. It's all like, it's fluffy but also like thought-provoking. I really enjoyed the illustration style. It's very colorful, a bit cutesy, but also not too much, but I really enjoyed it. I think this is a very good one to check out. Then we have one that I know nothing about, except for the fact that it is romance fantasy, and supposedly a good romance fantasy. This is The High Mountain Court by A.K. Mulford. Know nothing about this author, know nothing about this series. Ooh, this is overexposed because the sun decided to come out. Okay, fine, I think. This is self-published from the looks of things, but I have never heard anything from this author. I've never read, actually, anything from this author. I've heard very good things about this series. I think this was compared, yes, perfect for fans of Jennifer L. Armentrout and Holly Black. I am hoping that this gives me kind of ACOTAR vibes, especially ACOMAF vibes. I'm really in the mood to read something like Feyre and Reese's love story. So if we could have that here, sign me up. Then we have another nonfiction, and this is one that I've been meaning to read for so long. I saw Pretty Bookish on Instagram highly recommend this one, and I love her reviews, so I immediately got this on my radar. This is The Pink Line: Journeys Across the World's Queer Frontiers by Mark Gavisser, perhaps. This is nonfiction, like I said before, all about how the law and how countries kind of take on the issues of the LGBT community, and how different issues are manipulated to serve higher purposes and different purposes, how the way that this community is utilized to further some political agendas as well. So all in all, that sounds fascinating to learn about. So I definitely had to pick this one up. Let me read you a little bit of the back. More than 7 years in the making, The Pink Line is an exploration of how the conversation around sexual orientation and gender identity has come to describe and divide the world in an entirely new way over the first 2 decades of the 21st century. If that does not sound appealing, it does to me. That sounds fascinating. Second to last, we have The Empress of Salt and Fortune by Nhi Vo. I read, what is her other book? The one that is Gatsby inspired. I forget, whatever. I read that book of hers, and I loved the way that she wrote that whole story. I am not the biggest fan of the Great Gatsby, the original story, but I loved her twist on it. So naturally, having loved her writing, I had to pick something else by her. This is a very short novella. This is fantasy, and I heard incredible things about it, more so even than that book, The Young and the Beautiful, whatever it is. This is the first one in a trilogy, I think. In the back here it says, a young royal from the far north is sent south for a political marriage in an empire reminiscent of imperial China. Her brothers are dead, her armies and their war mammoths long defeated and caged behind their borders. Alone and sometimes reviled, she must choose her allies carefully. We have this storyteller kind of character, so I always enjoyed those. So here I am. I hope I love it so that I can continue on, but I have really high hopes for this one. And finally, the last one, Himawari House by Harmony Becker. Once again, this is a graphic novel which I've already read and loved. Oh my god, I loved this one so much. Let me tell you what it is about. So we have our main character, who naturally I forget the name of because I'm me. Now, I think is how you would say her name, Nao. And she is Japanese, but she went to the US like very young, when she was like 10 years old, something like that. And she grew up there, so she is now coming back after finishing high school. She's taking a year off before college, and she decided to go and stay that year in Japan, getting back in touch with her roots, getting back in touch with her family who lives there. And this book tells her journey through that year. So she stays at this house and she meets new friends. She has a ton of different experiences, all about coming to terms with who she is and how she feels like an outsider in both of her realities. When she is in America, in the US, she feels too Japanese. When she is in Japan, she feels not Japanese enough. And I think this is such an incredible story, so well told. We don't focus solely on her story and on this one main character. We very naturally expand and explore her roommates, and we see their realities as well. Not only was I so excited to get it, now I'm so excited to recommend it to you because it was amazing. One thing that I don't see too much of, which is a graphic novel that has like adult protagonists. The recommendations that I get for graphic novels tend to be young adult ones, and even though I love young adult, it sometimes feels a little bit superficial. I always get the sense that I want more out of the story, and here I felt like we really explored these characters deeply, and I loved that. And that's it for today's video. That is my book haul. If you've read any of the books that I mentioned, let me know your thoughts down below without spoilers. If you think I should prioritize any of these, let me know in the comments down below as well. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!